Wow, 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 what a ball game. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Nightcap as you watch the New York Knicks stay alive. 106-100 over the Indiana Pacers. They battled back from 20 points down in the second quarter. They cut it to 13 at the half, and then Karl Anthony Towns got hot in the third quarter, and then they took it over in the fourth quarter as they win 106-100 over the Pacers, and now the series is now Pacers 2-1. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Nightcap. Y'all know me. I am your favorite unk, Shannon Sharpe, my partner and co-host, Liberty City's own Bingo Ring of Fame honoree, Pro Bowler All-Pro. That's Chad Ochocinco Johnson. And joining us, I thought he was going to be in a more celebratory mood tonight because it was looking real good for his Indiana Pacers. He's a six-time All-Star, three-time All-NBA selection, and at the time of his selection, he was the youngest player ever to play in the NBA. At just 17 years of age, played a few games after his 18th birthday. From Eau Claire High School in Columbia, South Carolina, Jermaine O'Neal. J.O., what it do?
What's up, fellas?
What's up,
good?
Jay?
We good. Thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate that. Please make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Please make sure you hit the like button. And guys, go subscribe to the Nightcap podcast feed wherever you get your podcast from. We want to thank each and every one of you that have already subscribed and follow us and support us for the last 2 years. We could not have been where we've been and where we're going without you. So thank you for your support and your continued support. Make sure you check out Shea by Laportier. We do have it in stock. Now, if you can't find Shea by Laportier in a city or a state near you, order it online. We'll ship it directly to your door. But trust me, we will be coming to a city or a state near you. Please drink responsibly and stay safe. Check out my media company page on all of its platforms, Shay Media, and my clothing company, 84 with 84 being spelled out. The link is pinned in the chat. Supplies are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone. So please grab yours while supplies last. As I mentioned earlier, the Knicks come back from a 20-point deficit, thought they were about to get run out of the building. They composed themselves, cut it to 13 at the half. Then they outscored. They only outscored them by 3 in the third quarter. But in the fourth quarter, they took over, outscored them by 16 points, gave up 36 points, something Indiana doesn't do a whole lot of, is give up a big quarter like that. But the Knicks needed it. Karl Anthony Towns was sensational. 24 points, 15 rebounds, 3 of 3 from the three-point line. Fifth all time with 2010 playoff games for the Knicks. Cat had as many points in the fourth quarter as the Pacers. He got going, and when he got it going, it was no stopping. Or I meant to say he got it going in the fourth quarter, not the third. But he did hit a couple of big buckets that got them going. Josh Hart, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. His first game coming off the bench because they started Mitchell Robinson. They went with a big lineup. Another 20-point comeback from the Knicks. The Knicks have the most 20-point comebacks, 3 in a single postseason since 1998. JR, I know you watched this game very, very closely, and it looked like the Pacers were in control, about to take a commanding lead, 3-0. Everything was going inside, outside. They were running, getting out in transition. Obviously, that's what they want to do, make or miss. They want to get out in transition. What did the Knicks do, or what didn't the Pacers do to cause the outcome to be what it became at the end of the game?
Well, personally, I think it was more about what the Pacers didn't do. Obviously, Towns made some big shots, in the fourth, but it just seemed like, towards the end of the second quarter, they took their foot off the gas and they came out in the second half and they didn't have the same energy. I mean, you look at the game, the building wasn't even as ignited as it was in the first half because the energy was low. So, the thing that I look at when I look at this game is what is the best players doing? Tyrese Haliburton, he has to take over the games, right? When you see your team struggling and you see that, the offense isn't flowing as well, I think he tends to take the back seat a little too much and like that. So he has to do a better job on saying, hey, this is my team. We need a moment here, and I got to be the reason why. And I thought that didn't happen today. I think he made a shot or two, but for the most part, the energy was low, and they didn't compete. When the Knicks did in the fourth.
I agree with you. Sometimes I do believe that Hali he's not as aggressive as I need him to be. Now, he only had 6 assists. That's because the guys couldn't buy a basket. I mean, you look at the shot. Pascal was 50% from the floor. So was Miles Turner. But you look at Nesmith. He was 2 of 8, 1 for 3. from the three-point line. Miles Turner was 6 of 12 from the floor, but he's 1 for 6 from the three. Nemhard was 0 of 3 from the three. Hali was 2 of 6 from the three. And so when you go 5 of 25 from the three-point line, that's a recipe for disaster. And when the team gets it going, hopefully we can get some of this in the Western Conference, and all of them won't be blowouts, 20 points and 40-point blowouts. But I thought the Knicks, that second quarter, the end of the second quarter, that last 3 minutes, Jermaine, I thought that was big for them because they could have went the other way. Instead of being down 13, they could have been down 33. And now maybe we're having a different discussion. But give those guys credit. You're on the road. You're in a hostile environment. You've already lost 2 home games. They banded together. They believed in themselves, and they made plays when they absolutely had to make plays. And you know Jalen Brunson is going to have his hand all over it. He's going to find a way to get to the free throw line. That's just the way he is. And I would have wished they probably should have employed the hacker Robinson earlier. You know, I fouled him once I see the momentum starting slipping. Yeah. No, you got to go to the free throw line and make those shots. Ocho, you watching this game and you see the Knicks come back from 20 points down and win this ball game. What did you like about the Knicks' resilience on the road?
Listen, I like the fact that they kept fighting. I like the fact that they kept fighting. Jay, they need to find a way to stop being down by 20. Stop making the game that much more difficult for you. I don't understand how or why, the way the Pacers played the first 2 games, right? Why not do what you did tonight, the previous 2 games you played before? For when you were playing at home, you had the advantage. Now you play a much better game, even though you're down by 20. You play a much better game, and you're playing away in a hostile environment. And then I think the key to the game also was when you, not only were you down by 20, but to be able to come back into the game. Were they able to do the last, 5 or 6 minutes of the fourth quarter? Haliburton missed a step back. The sequence where I think it was maybe 3 minutes and 16 seconds on the clock, where the Pacers, they had nothing but 6 points with multiple possessions at that. And I think it was in that matter, in that fact, in that instance in general, where the Knicks took advantage. That goddamn Jalen Brunson, hey, I'll give you something nice. People might
get to that free throw line.
He
gonna struggle from the floor, but he gonna find a way, J.O., to get to the free throw line.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all, it was a key moment in this game. You know, let's put aside what the Pacers didn't do and lean more on what the Knicks did, and it started to me from the coaching side, right? Okay. You go back to game 1, the Knicks went on a run. They were up 17. Thibodeau makes a sub. Right. Sometimes when a team is rolling, the very best player doesn't necessarily have to be a part of that, because you can sub and stop the flow of the game. Right. You fast forward to tonight, right, where the group that he had in there, they actually did a really good job on cutting it, and he stretched that group out to a point where they cut it to, I think, 3 or possibly even 2. And then when he needed to bring him, I think he brought Brunson back with like 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the game. So I thought the coaching part of it was a lot better tonight when it comes to this chess game, which we see in the playoffs.
And plus, give Tibbs credit. He went with a big lineup tonight. He started Mitchell Robinson. He went with Cat because Mitchell Robinson gives them extra possessions. And so that's what we need. We need more than one possession. And so you know what? Say, Mitch, we're going to lean on you tonight. We're going to play 29 minutes. He played 29 minutes. I thought he was sensational. Brought Josh Hart off the bench. And I thought, look, when you get it rolling like that, it's hard to break up momentum like that. Because if you look at the second quarter, he let Carlisle, he let him go. Those were not his regular guys in there. He let them go. Yeah. And I thought the Knicks took advantage of that. They ended up clawing it back and getting it down to 13. I thought McBride came in and made a couple of big shots. He had a big-time 3. He had a big-time pull-up. He's doing a little thing. He's a very good defender. If you look at it, Ocho, we've been talking about this. They normally play 7 guys. They played 9 tonight.
Played 9 tonight.
Landry Shamet got 11 minutes. Darrell Wright got 13 minutes. Josh Hart played, he normally plays a little more minutes, but he came off the bench. He played 34, and McBride gave you 15.
Hey, J.O., hey, you say Haliburton, especially in I call it pressure situations, at the end of that game, you say Haliburton should take over. But if you look at what the Knicks were doing, the Knicks was doubling Haliburton on all high screens and forcing the ball really out of his hands and leaving the onus of someone else on that team to have to shoot or get their point from somewhere else. And they wasn't hitting. Siakam turned the ball over.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, the offense didn't flow very well. So I agree with you. They did, and again, it's a chess match right now, right? You know, they're going back and forth. They're trying to take the ball out of certain people's hands. But the difference that I saw tonight early in the game, I think the first half, the Pacers bench outscored the Knicks bench, I think 22-7. And the second half, the Knicks was a plus, I think 15 or 16. So the flow of the game was a lot different for the Pacers early. I thought the Pacers got a lot more stagnated, in the second half. And Ocho, to go back to what you were saying, what makes Haliburton really, really good is when they're moving that ball, swinging that ball, he catching the ball, on a live pass, and he's going downhill. Well, the second half, you look at the second half, it was super stagnated. They got bumped up against the shot clock a lot, and the ball didn't necessarily end up in the right people's hand at the right time.
Right. Yeah, I thought he held on to the ball. The ball stuck a little bit too long in his hands tonight, J.O. Yep. I like when Haliburton, when they're getting make or miss, getting the ball off the rim, and they're pushing tempo. That's when they're at their absolute best. And it doesn't matter if Hali has it, if Nembhard, Neesmith, it does not matter who, Mathurin, it doesn't matter. They're looking to push tempo. That's when they're at their best, is when they're getting up and down. I thought Hali did a little bit too much dribbling tonight. I thought he was, he wasn't like, I'm going to go to the basket now, let me back it out again. And now he's getting off the ball at 10 seconds. Now, hey, don't nobody, because it's really, when you really look at it, who's really looking to take somebody off the bounce? Siakam. Everything else is really set up by Haliburton doing a great job of getting penetration. They played a lot of pick and roll, like to get in the high pick and roll with Miles Turner. He can roll to the basket, or he can hit the pick and pop. But I thought Hali might have held on to the ball just a tad too much. But he had some guys that had some good looks at the basket tonight, J.O. They just didn't go down for him. 5 of 25 is not near. Well, clearly that's not good enough when you're shooting 20% from the floor, from the 3-point line. But when you play it, you got to win this game. You're at home. You done stole 2 games on the road. You got to win the first game back, J.O. And it happened to him against Cleveland. Remember, Cleveland did the same thing to him. They take the first 2 games in Cleveland. They come in there, they get, but Cleveland took the game from the tip. And I look at this guy and say, damn, man, the Pacers about to go up 3-0 on the Knicks. Right. About to go up 3-0. And then I'm like, hey, y'all getting real sloppy with this basketball now. There's still 2.5 quarters to go now. Don't let this thing slip away. And then they cut it right. They cut it right before the half. They got it down to 13. And I think the Knicks were thinking, we got it manageable now. Yeah. We got it manageable. If we come out, Ocho, and hit 2 threes, hey, this thing under 10. And we was down 20 just 5 minutes ago.
Hey, they got to find a way to stop being down in such a deficit. Having to crawl back and fight back from 20. I understand the game of basketball is all about it. It's a game of runs, but make it easy on yourself. Don't make every game where, okay, now we got to do everything. You got to be damn near perfect and hope the momentum shifts in your favor. Outside of that, I mean, listen, the Knicks bench played really well. It was ugly. Josh, McBride, Robinson. Listen, they weren't flashy, but they outplayed Indiana's second unit. And if they can have another game like that, when they play again, and Tuesday. Listen, if they can have another game like that, especially the bench, we know what the starters are going to do. If they have another game like this and tie this series up, it can become interesting again. Because if they had lost a nice game, it was over. I really think the series was over.
Oh, it was over. It was definitely over, Jay, if they had lost this game.
100%. I think the thing where I'm struggling as a former player, when I look at these playoffs, and you see it a lot, throughout the season, time and possession is not a thing anymore in the NBA.
No.
Right, especially in the playoffs where everything comes down to possessions. Right, I'm watching more and more threes be launched, and it almost creates bad threes. It creates rhythm for other teams getting it, and they're gone. And that's the thing why I'm struggling with a little bit. I mean, you go back to the first game with the Knicks, and again, I'm happy that that we up 2-1. But when you look at that game, you're up 14 with 2 minutes, and I think at the time it was
57 seconds.
Yeah. Right. When you think about this, all you got to do is get 4 or 5 stops, and hell, you can get 4 or 5 shot clock violations.
Right.
And you win the game. But I look at tonight where it's like every time it seems like some sort of rhythm is happening, a bad 3 go up, right? Or just a bad possession. And that's the part where I'm struggling with a little bit right now, considering that this is go to the NBA finals, right? You're in the conference finals. So you should have some sort of understanding on how, to win the game, and an understanding too on how to lose a game as well.
Yeah, I think we see a lot of that, JL. I think sometimes guys get caught. Look, I'm gonna be the guy to break the rhythm. I'm gonna be the guy to hit the big shot that quell their run or push us to. If we're up 5, we're gonna go up 8. If we're up 7, we're gonna go up 10. I'm gonna be the guy that puts that says, okay, he hit that big shot. Well, it was the big shot in the corner that such and such hit. But what you do is that you allow them, like you said, you allow them to get a rhythm. You allow them to get a run out on you.
Right.
And now all of a sudden you're like, bro. And I'm sure in a situation like that, JL, you're not telling, hey, man, don't take that shot. You're like, hey, let's just be patient. Let's slow this thing down. But I think the thing is for the Pacers, look, it's one game. You said it, JL, they're still up 2-1, and we got another game in our building.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've given the Knicks life. The Knicks believe that they can beat your ass in your building because they just came back from 20 down. So they believe now anything close, going into the fourth quarter, they got you.
We got this.
Man, I don't know. I don't know who feels good about what. I mean, obviously the Knicks had some struggles at home, and now the Pacers. They had. When you think about the game, Karl Anthony Towns and Brunson. Obviously,
in foul trouble.
They were in foul trouble. They didn't have a great first half at all.
No.
They walk away with a win, right? When that game should have been a 20 plus point drumming of the Knicks, but they found a way to stay in the game, or the Pacers found a way to keep them in the game.
And you look at the Pacers, Ocho, we talk about this all the time. They're committed. And normally they have 6 guys in double figures. Mm-hmm. They had 4 guys in double figures tonight. Nesmith, 2 of 8. He only had 8 points. You had Nembhard. He was 2 of 9, 0 of 3. He had 9 points. Those guys normally get you 13, 14, 15. Yeah. That's how they normally play. Haliburton had 20. Siakam, look, that was a playoff career high in game 2 when he had 39. He was phenomenal. I'm not expecting him to have a whole bunch of 30-point playoff games. That's just not the type of offensive player that he is. He's a good player, but I'm not looking for him to go off like he went off in game 2. Again, I don't know about you, JL. I thought TJ McConnell was sensational. Mm-hmm. Maybe you might need to bump those 15 minutes up and give him 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Because, hey, he battles, he pushes pace, he makes big-time shots. He's a hustler. I love the way he played. But they're kicking themselves. Just like the Knicks kicked themselves the first game because they're like, man, we had Brunson go off for 43. We had Cat go off for 36, and we lose?
Right.
So now they're feeling good about themselves. They say, hold on. Jalen Brunson only played 31 minutes. Cat only played 33 minutes. 6 of 18 for Brunson. 1 of 5. Cat was 3 of 7, 8 of 17. They had 47 points. In the game they had damn near 80 points, they lose. The game they had 47 and was in foul trouble, they win. Mm-hmm. So they're going to take great consolation in this on being on the road. Like, look, guys, we saw him do it twice to Boston in the Garden, down 20. We saw him be down at home in game 4 and come back and win the game and then go close it out. Right. I still like the Pacers. If I'm into these teams, I like being up 2-1. I don't give a damn how good I played the last game. That other team still has a 2-1 deficit, 2-1 up on us, and we still got another game in their building.
Yeah. Now, I'm with you on the McConnell deal, right? I think he had 10 first half points, and I thought he had a really good flow to the game early. Mm-hmm. And then the second half, you didn't see as much of him, right? He was in there, but it wasn't the same level of impact. I don't know if it was because of just the time or just the rhythm of the game, but I think he can be a very, very important component. But here's my question to both of you guys is when the Pacers get in the funk offensively like they did tonight, mm-hmm. if Pascal Siakam isn't the guy that you go for, they can go for 30 every night, and Tyrese Haliburton isn't the guy that can be aggressive all the time, then who do you go to?
Mm.
But see, that's the thing. When you look at this, they kind of remind me of the Rockets, but a little bit more seasoned. Because who is the guy that you really want you to take the last shot? Now we've seen Haliburton hit some big shots, mm-hmm. but you said, okay, are we gonna give this ball? Are we gonna give this ball to Pascal Siakam and let him go get us a basket? That's not what he is. He's a really good player. He is, and I don't want to try to diminish him here. But I'm not looking at him a guy that's going to consistently like, you know what, we need 25 a night. That's not what he is.
Right. But then J.O., think about what you just asked, right? Is Pascal Siakam, he's struggling late in the game. They doubling Haliburton, forcing him to kick the ball out. Does everyone else, do the other three players have the green light to be able to shoot at will when they want to in pressure situations, especially down in that fourth quarter, when obviously who you want the ball in their hands, they can't get it done. Do they have the green light to shoot at will?
So I think they do. I think that's what makes the Pacers really good is the depth. When you look at the game that they won, really both games, but in particular game one, I think they had 7 guys in double figures.
Mm-hmm.
They have 4. They have 4 tonight, right? They're gonna those others. Like Shaq always says, the others they're gonna have to really step up and free Haliburton. Haliburton's got to be aggressive, start to finish. Come game 4, he cannot be passive. He cannot allow double. To take him out of the game. I mean, hell, the Pacers was doubling Brunson in the first 2 games, and especially in the first game, he had 40, 43. So he's going to find a way to really, stay. Bite down and stay focused and stay gritty when it comes to, making sure he's impacting the game. And then the rest of the guys will fall into place. But I just felt like tonight they just got a little too tight, when the game was, when the Knicks went on their run, and they're going to have to get away from that and realize that they are at home. The energy is behind them, and that should be able to carry them.
Yeah, Nesmith, he's going to give you 8, and he's been playing really well. Nembhard's been playing really well. Yep. 8, 9. I thought Mathurin just didn't have it tonight, and it shows in the amount of minutes that he played. I thought he came in and got a couple of fouls, picked up a couple of fouls early, and Carlisle didn't have the confidence in him to leave him in the ball game, and he ended up going out. They brought Shepherd in. He had a big 3. He's mainly a defensive guy that can knock down threes if given the opportunity. But you look at this team. In order for them to win, they're going to have 5, 6 guys in double figures. That's how they've been all year, JL. This is, I mean, they're probably looking at it like, damn, we only have 4 guys. They're one of the few teams that have 5 guys in double figures in the entire playoffs. Mm-hmm. And then McConnell, McConnell can get you 10 because he'll hit a big 3, he'll get a couple of steals, get and one or something, get the crowd going. Mm-hmm. But I thought those others, Nesmith, Nembhard, Mathurin, got Obi Toppin. Obi normally, he missed a easy one right there. Missed the putback. He'll be better. I think those guys, and I think if the guys that they're counting on, the role players, that Nesmith, the Nembhard, Mathurin, Obi, I think if they give you what they normally gave you throughout the entirety of the playoff thus far, especially the first 2 games against the Knicks, I think they'll be fine. 20-point comeback playoff wins. In 2025, we already have 6. In the last 4 postseasons combined, we've only had 5.
That's crazy.
And we've seen 3 in the last 7 games.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Boston give up 2 20-point leads, and we just saw another one tonight.
I guess the question also comes down to the Pacers bench was it wasn't their normal self tonight, right? Typically, they are the ones they're gonna come in, and every night it's gonna be somebody to step up.
Right.
The Knicks bench hasn't been impactful this series, but they were impactful tonight. I guess the biggest question is, can the Knicks bench come back again in game 4, right? Because I expect the Pacers to come back and be their normal self, because Rick Carlisle is a hell of a coach, had an opportunity to play with him in Indiana. He's a huge adjustment coach. I mean, one of the smartest coaches I've ever been around. So I know he's going to have those boys ready to go. But then when it come down to the, to the game itself, which bench is going to carry their team? And if I had to put my money on it, and this is not me being a homer, I'm gonna go with the Pacers because they've done it all year.
Right. When you're down, and JL, you played 15 plus years. When you're down, is there a number that you don't feel that you can't come back from? And I know it's different than when you first got to the league, because there wasn't a whole lot of 20-point comebacks because teams weren't shooting the 3 like they shoot it now. Right. A 20-point lead in the first quarter, second quarter, even midway through the third quarter ain't ish, because guys can get on a roll and hit 2 or 3 threes and a layup, and what was a 20-point lead now is all of a sudden a 10 or 8-point lead. And so it's a lot different now. But was there ever a number that your team got down and you're like, well, damn, yeah, we got to get ready for tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a 15-18. It was, boy, it was tough to come back then. That was almost like death, right? If you down 15, 18 points, because, we were going to, the tides have turned a lot, right? You got offensive flow. The analytics to me, is getting people fired. Right. This analytic thing is going crazy, bro.
Got them taking bad 3s instead of good 2s.
Good 2s, right. But, look at our MVP. SGA, he's a mid-range killer, right? He's taking those tools. But to answer your question, 18 to 20 points in a playoff game. Yeah, you got to get ready for the next game because you ain't coming back from that, because most teams won't allow you to, because it was a defensive minded, the mindset, from the start, right? It's how many times we can stop you, not how many times we can outshoot you, right? And I think that's what's happening in the NBA right now. You have these huge swings, but, it was no way in hell, if we playing somebody or the Pistons or in New Jersey, they had Jay Kidd and, all of the good defensive teams, they were never going to allow you to come back, but now I guess in 2 minutes, you can score 20 to 25 in 2 minutes.
Yeah, and the problem is also, JL, is that teams take bad, quick shots. I mean, all of a sudden, you see a team go on a 10-0 run in under a minute. Like, what the hell? Hey, I see that. I'm just going to hold the ball, Jay. I'm just going to hold the ball, let the shot clock run down. Give me the ball. I'm going to let the shot clock run down twice. I'm going to get past a minute.
Bro, listen, and the craziest thing that as just a lifer in basketball, wing threes and corner threes create fast breaks. And
yes, they're off and running.
Over and over, you see the same thing in unbalanced defensive floor. So I'm not even sure exactly what they're teaching, in the NBA right now from perspective of those things.
But they tell them that's the short porch. The corner three, that's the short three, JO. But what happens with that carom, that long carom, and next thing you know, the guy, in 2 dribbles, he already got somebody at the rim.
Yep.
And you're like, and they keep getting, and I understand the Knicks tonight, they're like, y'all not hitting them, so we'll give them to you. Y'all not making them.
Right.
So 20%, 5 or 25, and they had some good looks. It wasn't like they were shooting a lot of contested threes, but some of them were quick.
Yep.
It's okay. It's look, I understand. Woo, this thing wide open. Yeah, there's a reason why you wide open, and it's only 20 seconds that's going off the clock. Excuse me, only 4 seconds going off the clock. Take it down a little bit more. And I understand. Look, the Pacers are a flow team, Jo. Yep. They love to run. They're at their absolute best, and there are very few teams that can keep that pace up with them. Because if you look at who the guys they got, Neesmith, Nembhard, Mathburn, they're kind of interchangeable. They're kind of like the same guy.
Yep.
Same about the same height and can get up and down and play. McConnell comes in. Look, now he's not Haliburton, but he can do a great job of orchestrating the offense. He's a bulldog. He can make tough shots. Yeah. I love him. He's tenacious on defense, a little undersized, but he plays hard. Yep. And when you got guys like that, you don't give up a whole lot because you're not asking the guy. You don't see them. I mean, their leading scorer, who's their leading scorer? Probably Siakam. What, 19? So then you have probably got another guy with 17, another guy with 16, another guy with 15, 14, 12. You're not going to have the disparity where you got a guy averaging 28 and then the next guy closest to him is averaging 15.
Yeah.
Hey, Jo, you mentioned some of the adjustments that Coach Carlisle could make, how smart he is. So obviously I'm thinking about on the other end with Tibbs doing something that he normally doesn't do. Normally he plays 7, but tonight he played 9. What adjustments? I know you're a Pacers guy. What adjustment you think Tibbs can make to ensure that this game or this series evens itself up next time they play on Tuesday?
Yeah, we all know that, no matter who we are, on that professional roster, when a coach shows trust, we feel confident. Mm-hmm. We don't feel sped up. We don't feel tight. I thought Tibbs did a hell of a job on showing confidence in his bench, and he kept coming back to it. I thought the previous 2 games, he relied too much on Brunson Towns, right? And the ball stuck. There was no side to side. And with Brunson being 6'1", right, they trapping him. Every shot is hard. I think that Tibbs has to stay with what worked this game with an understanding that, he may have to make, some in-game adjustments. But I thought tonight he was good from that perspective. And again, I was sitting there talking to my business manager, watching this game. I didn't know who won the battle because it was a tale of 2 different halves, right? Where I just felt, the first half, the Pacers looked like the Pacers, right? All side to side. They didn't want good shots. They wanted great shots. Then the second half, right, it was stagnated, bumped up against the shot clock. Knicks first half, stagnated. Every shot was tough. If you go back and look at the game, they were even running, the Pacers had them running their half-court offense damn near at the half-court line. Mm-hmm. They had them bumped up against the half-court line, and then the second half, they got what they wanted. Karl Anthony Towns, for the life of God, that boy should start on the box and then move his way out.
Hey, you've been saying, you've been preaching that for the longest.
For years.
You've been preaching for the longest.
I don't know why he shoots all these crazy threes, because he does have some work down low.
He does. Oh, he's skilled.
Yeah.
But I thought the Knicks defense, there are a couple of times that the Pacers got in transition and the Knicks transition defense was sensational.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Blocked them out. Hey, nope, you didn't get here. Make them pass out. They come back again, say, nope, not doing it again. But I tell you what, when they take Karl Anthony Towns out, they got to do a better job of getting on the boards, because Mitchell Robinson is giving them too many opportunities, second chance points. And that's what he's in there for. He's in there to challenge. If you beat your guy, he's going to challenge you at the rim, but he also wants to give Brunson, he wants to give those other guys second chance opportunities. And so they're going to have to do a better job of keeping him off the glass. And I think if they can do, and plus also Josh Hart. Remember Josh Hart the other night, Ocho, he only had like 5 rebounds. Yeah. He had 10 tonight.
Yeah.
And he had that in the reserve role. So you see, he got better. Nimhard and the other guy and Neesmith, they didn't do what they did the first 2 games. So one guy got better, the other 2 kind of slid back a little bit, and I think that was the difference in the ball game. He gave you a great production, 8 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and steal, and only had 1 turnover, because he's their Swiss Army knife. He's the guy that's going to do it all. He's going to take a charge. He's going to give you a second chance point. He's going to give you second chance opportunities. He's going to facilitate. Hey, he's a great passer of the basketball, and he's a good defender. Mm-hmm. I thought his presence tonight was really, really good. But you're going to have to do a job of keeping Mitchell Robinson off the glass. He gave the Knicks too many opportunities.
Yep.
I mean, he had 3 offensive rebounds. Josh Hart had 3 offensive rebounds. That's too many. Miles Bridges had 2. You got to keep him off the glass. You got to.
I'm going to tell you this, the X factor for me going into game 4, he hadn't played well at all this round, but Benedict Mathurin.
Yep.
He's been big for them all year, and he's really, really struggled. I need to reach out to my young boy and just need to just relax and play the game he knows how to play, but he hadn't been great for him. If he comes out and he plays the way he's capable of playing, the way he played this season, it will be difficult, right? Yeah. To try to double Haliburton or anybody else, right? I think, he's the X factor for me.
Yeah, I didn't think Siakam was aggressive enough tonight. Remember the other night he had 23 shot attempts. Tonight he had 14. Miles Turner's had 12. Haliburton has 15. Bro, come on now. Siakam, you just had a 39-point game, and you cool with taking 14 shots? Hell nah. I'm trying to get me another 39-point game. I'm going to the rack.
Hey, do you think the players know? Do you think someone keeps track of how many shots they taking, J.O.?
Hell yeah, they keep track of the J.O. Did you keep track of how many balls you caught? Did you know how many balls you caught the last game?
But hold on now. We talk about football and basketball is kind of different. Do you really know on the court, J.O., how many shots you've taken in the game? Do coaches let you know?
No,
or you just have free will?
Go ahead, Joey.
Well, you definitely know. You can know because on the sideline, almost every time out, they have score sheet. Mm-hmm. Where you can go look at, the stat sheet on what you're doing. Typically, you might ask a coach, hey man, what's up? Like, how many shots have I taken? Right. Especially if you're struggling a little bit.
Right.
You're gonna ask that question because now they got 37 coaches on the roster. If you look behind the bench, somebody has something for everybody. But you are aware on how many shots you've taken and what your stats are, because you always got that one to 2 coaches that's telling you what's going on in the game for you.
Because they want you to be aggressive. He needs to be aggressive. And like I said, and you see when he's aggressive, the guys that are aggressive that need to be aggressive, Siakam and Haliburton, they're supposed to be your 2 best players. Well, your 2 best players need to play like your 2 best players. And they should never have to feel like they're in a reserve role. Sometimes I feel like Haliburton feel like he's a role player, like he's a bench player. Nah, bro, you're an all-star. You wouldn't help the U.S. earn a gold medal. Be like that. Be him. Be him. Siakam, you just dropped 39, bro. You just dropped 39, took 23 shots to get it. And you cool with taking 14. Nah, bro, go and try to get that back. Be aggressive, because he was aggressive in game 2. I'm talking about extremely aggressive.
Well, I guess the question is, when you're the away team, you expect it, right? You expect the viciousness, the people talking about your mama, your kids. You expect that when you walk into, to arena. When you come home, you almost try to be too perfect.
Yes.
right? You try to align yourself with being perfect and doing everything right because you don't want to let your home crowd down, and it looks that way. That's why tonight I thought the Pacers were a little too tight. When things got tight, when the game got tight, people wanted to rely on somebody else to do it versus
they overpassed the ball, Jo. I was looking at, bro, stop shooting the ball.
Yep, wouldn't shoot it.
Because everybody, I want to make sure I want to make the right play. No, bro, shoot the ball. Shoot it. You don't have to be perfect. Ain't nobody going to call you selfish. Nobody looks at the Pacers and think this is a selfish ball club because we have too many guys that score in double figures. So you can't have that many guys scoring in double figures and be a selfish ball club. We don't think you're a selfish ball club, but you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect to win.
No, 100%.
And I just thought tonight, sometimes they overpassed the ball and they ended up turning it over.
Hold on,
yeah.
You call it overpassing. What happened to not being in rhythm? What happened not being in confidence, not having the confidence to shoot the ball at that specific time based on the circumstance of the game at the time? You said all their players most of the time are in double figures. Also, those players are also in rhythm. Also, those players are also a little bit more efficient from the field than they were tonight. So there's a little bit more comfortability with taking those shots as opposed to overpassing tonight. You know what? I'm not in rhythm right now. Based on the game and the circumstance that we're in right now, I don't want to take that shot. So I'm going to pass it on to somebody else.
Well, you can't feel like that because the ball going to find you.
Well,
you ever notice how they put an outfielder in the field or infielder in baseball? Don't the ball find him. The ball get hit right to him. Somebody getting there. Hey, we need a spare receiver. Everybody cover. Somehow the ball got to find him or the DB. When they put a corner in the game, the slot, whatever he is, what the ball do? The ball gonna find you.
Every time.
If you're not confident,
right,
somehow the ball gonna find you.
But that goes back to this is more of a question for both of you guys. Are you more comfortable at home or the villain on the road?
Oh, I like being the villain on the road. I operate very well in a chaotic environment. I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. It's weird.
Yep.
No, I think I played my best at home. I just want to be able to hear the snap count because I'm trying to get down the field as fast as I can. and if you notice, when in track meets, when they say runners to their mark, everything is hush because we want everybody to hear the gun.
Right.
I need to hear the gun. I need to hear that hut and ball up out of there. Let me know what you think about this, J.O. Jeff Teague says Jalen Brunson holding the ball for most of the shot clock is the reason why New York initially went down 0-2 against the Pacers. You know how the Knicks lose these games? The shot clock is 24 seconds. Jalen Brunson is holding the ball for 17 of them. They don't get no rhythm. You agree or disagree?
I agree. And that's what I thought happened in especially the first game when he came back in when they were up, I think they were up 17. He came back in and the rhythm, they just looked out of sorts. When you talking about two teams that are in the top 7, the top 8 defensively in the NBA, right? Mm-hmm. And so both can guard. And the Pacers, they're physical, they switch everything, they have size. And with Brunson at 6'1", is as good as he is with the ball. He's crafty, one of the best guards in the league. In the playoff scenario, I think it makes it tough when he has the ball in his hand the majority of the time, and he's dribbling, and he get bumped up against the shot clock. All of a sudden, the ball finds somebody else with 2 seconds, 2 seconds to go on the shot clock. That's not a great rhythm for two teams that are really good defensively, and really both of them are the top 7 offensively as well.
Right.
So if you can be top 7 offensively, that means the ball moves around. And I thought tonight, it was almost a mirror image of a really good offensive team because in the second half, the Knicks were able to move the ball around and people were able to hurt you, doing that. And I thought Karl-Anthony Towns, his best, even though he gets some big threes, look at how many times he got to the basket. Mm-hmm. Right. That opens up his 3 ball because now he's attacking the basket. Now people can't stay in front of him.
Right.
So to based on what Jeff Teague said, J.O., you can probably, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a way that Jalen Brunson can operate the offense and get in the ball and be quick and getting everything set up, be quick but not in a hurry, as opposed to feel like you rushing things?
Well, I think walking the ball down, puts them up against the clock from the start, right? I think getting the ball out, in particular on misses, let's get the ball up the court. Nothing's there. Boom. Let's get into our offense. Let's get a really good shot based off our offense. A lot of times when they get caught, I want you guys to watch this over the next, Hopefully this series doesn't go too many more games. So watch how many times they walk the ball up against. It's hard to walk the ball up against really good defensive teams. Right. Because they're set and they're waiting and they're trying to take everything away. And I just think that, with him, with his size and how crafty he is, he has to put himself in a better position to get into the shot clock a little bit earlier.
Man, I'm looking at this, JL. I don't know if you saw these stats. The Knicks only had 13 assists. Bridges had 1. OG had 2. Cat had 1. Robinson had 1. Brunson had 1. McBride had none. Hart had 4. Wright had 1. Shamet had 2. You score 100+ points and you got 13 assists.
That is crazy. I'm looking at that. I didn't know that.
13. And you got 100 points. I think you're going to have 13 assists. You're going to have probably about 75, 80.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of catching and holding, and that's that.
Exactly. See, that's the thing. And sometimes, you're getting putbacks. Mm-hmm. You letting teams get second chance points on you. Nobody creates an assist for you. That's just you doing the ball. And so it's going to be interesting to see. I'm anxious to see the adjustments. We saw the adjustments that the Knicks made. The adjustment was insert Mitchell Robinson. Get the ball out of Hali's hand. Let's see if somebody else can create offense for this team. Leading assist guy was Hali. They had a couple of guys with 3. McConnell had 3. Nembhard had 3. Turner had 3. Neesmith played 26 minutes, bro. You got to give us. Come on now, 0 assists. Pascal, I need about 4 or 5 assists from you.
Yeah.
Because you're the guy. Because you just scored 39. They make them come help you. Make them come double you. Yeah. See, you're not aggressive. They like, and I know. Look, OG is a very good defender. He got the best of OG. Yeah. Game 2. OG held his own. Game 3. OG gave you 16, so they basically played to a standstill. But Pascal was minus 21. He's minus 21. He had the lowest plus minus of anybody that touched the court.
Well, I guess the magical word for this series is sustainability. Mm-hmm. Right? Can you sustain what you did in the first half and bring it to the second half and be better, right? Or at least keep it at the same level. It seems like in this series, it's a changing of the guards when it comes to how they're performing from half to half, right? And so I think that the way the Pacers had it rocking in the first half of tonight, if they can take that same energy and bring it to the second half, they run away with this game probably by 30. Yeah, and you could say that too. You could say that. I mean, even though the Pacers shot the lights out of it at the first game. But it's just strange, man. Like these big swings in the playoffs, right? Where it's not you're playing the same team, right? It's not like you got to redo the scout report. But I guess it's kind of the new era when it depends on who's going to get hot, who's going to be aggressive, who wants to impact the game, who doesn't want to impact the game, who feels good, who doesn't feel good. It's a lot of scenarios that is coming into play, man. Which is unusual for something this late in the season.
Yeah, and I go back to it, Joe, and I think this is what happened is that when they got that 20-point lead, I thought they was going to close it out and probably keep it at 20, maybe even push it somewhere around 30. Right. But the Knicks had other ideas. The Knicks ended up cutting it. They ended up going on like a mini run, and they ended up cutting it to 13. So they had to feel really, really good. 13 is still, well, Shannon, that's still double digits, but still, you were down 20. And in the blink of an eye, you got it down to 13. And I thought, like, early in the third, they got it down to 10, and then the Pacers push it back to 15. But then all of a sudden, you see them get that thing down to 7. They get it down to 5. You're like, uh-oh. Yeah. Uh-oh. Now, you're at home, and your crowd, as long as I can keep the crowd out of it, Joe, I like my chances if I'm the road team. Yep. Now I done got the crowd out of it. You had them in the game in the second quarter, and now here it is the third quarter, getting ready to head into the fourth, and they quiet.
Yep. I love Tyrese Haliburton. I think he's a hell of a player. I think he's going to just continue to get better. But I didn't see out there tonight where somebody was like, "Yo, give me the damn ball." Right. Give me the ball. Right. I'm about to do this. And as the point guard, you can really set the table and set the the chemistry of the team with that mentality, right? And I just felt like a lot of times you look, he was kind of off ball, and I understand they were trapping him when he got the ball, but he has to be a little bit more aggressive about the will to want to win the game, and I think he will be because he seems like a really good competitor. But he's going to have to be because now the Knicks feeling like, hey man, we get this one and we get to go back to the Garden. We're in a great position. And to tell you the truth, it's a must-win situation for the Pacers.
Yeah.
Game 4, they got to win that game because if you go back 2-2, now it's the best out of 3.
Yeah, make it hard on yourself.
Yep, but the Knicks having home court.
Yep.
SGA say the Thunder got punched in the mouth by Anthony Edwards and the Wolves. We got punched in the mouth, and next game we're either going to get back up or not, and we'll lose the game. The Timberwolves shot lights out in Game 3. They hit 57% of their shots. They went 20 of 40 from the three-point line, collected 19 more rebounds, had 14 more points in the paint. Ant-Man, 30 points in 30 minutes, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. He was 12 of 17 from the floor, 5 of 8 from the three. Finally got that 3-ball going because the first 2 games it was non-existent. Plus 36, 5-1 in the Target Center this postseason. What you think of Jail?
There's no way Oklahoma City plays the way they played. And I think it'll be difficult for Minnesota and willed them in that first half. He just simply willed them. I don't know if Minnesota has the depth because again, you got to think in the playoffs, adjustments will come. What happens if they start trapping Ant-Man? Right? Then who you go to, right? You talking about OKC is one of the best scoring teams. Hell, they was historical this year when it came to margins of victory, right? That came because the level of depth when it comes to scoring is probably best in their league, right? And so I would think that they're going to come back, with a sense of urgency and do the things that they've just completely been doing all year. Right. It's not something that they got to go and figure out in the locker room. Hey, who's going to do what? They just got to get back to doing what they've been doing. And then, they're going to be fine. I think this is a year that I would love to see them play against the Pacers because you got 2 teams that play with depth. And I think it's ultimately it may end up being that way, but I see the series being 3-1 after tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm looking at this. I thought the Timberwolves got Shannon Jr. came off the bench in 13 minutes and gave him 15 big points.
Yeah.
I thought Dante DiVincenzo hit some big threes to keep that lead, keep that when Ant-Man went to the bench. I thought Naz Reid played probably his best game of this short series thus far. Miller came in. I just thought, look, but the keys for them is Ant-Man to be efficient and Drew Randall. You look at Drew Randall, he had a really good game in Game 1, and then he was non-existent in Game 2, and they got blown out. He didn't even play in the fourth quarter. They're like, nah, we good. Get to go on there and get your mind right. Yeah. I mean, they showed the clip where he's telling his family, y'all go ahead and go. I ain't going back in the game. We ain't about to win this game. I see y'all. Hey, we getting ready to go back to Minnesota, and we're going to give them something there. Randall was 9 of 15 from the floor, 2 of 5, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, plus 38 in 30 minutes, 24 points. Ant-Man, as I said before, 30 minutes, 12 of 17, 5 of 8, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He had 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, plus 36, 30 points. When those 2 guys getting it going. Now, McDaniels hit some big shot yesterday. I thought he did a good job. I thought he did a better job on Shea. Did a great job of keeping him off the foul line. He only had 4 free throw attempts. Shea normally somewhere in that 10, he could easily be 10 to 13 attempts a night. I thought they did a great job of keeping him off the foul line, making it tough on everybody. Rudy Gobert had his best game, although he only had 7 points. But I thought the bench for Minnesota was sensational last night, and they needed to be because that's where OKC. You look at OKC's bench when they come with Caruso and they come with Wiggins and they come with Wallace and they come with Isaiah Joe.
They don't miss a beat.
They got the other Jalen Williams. They're deep. They're gonna play. They're gonna play 10, 11 guys. Dagnott does not have a problem playing his guys. He believe him like we've been playing them all year. Why are we gonna get to the playoffs now and cut our bench increase those guys' minute, get them tired, and put them in situations they're not used to being in all year. So I like his philosophy.
Hey, and also, you know, the piggyback on what Jo said about obviously them making the adjustments for Anthony Edwards to stop him. Obviously, what are they going to do once they trap him? Well, obviously, you got to know that coming out already that they're going to make adjustments to try and stop you and having to kick from everybody else. And the bench they have to find a way to play the exact same way they did this game. Shannon Jr., how you say it?
DiVincenzo,
McDaniels, and Ant got to be aggressive again. Trap or not. Hey, Unc, there were games you went into, you know the double team is coming?
Yep.
I don't see none of that.
But you know what?
He has to have that same mentality that he had this game.
Yeah, he got aggressive. If you go back and look at him with the Lakers, there are a lot of times he had like 12 assists, he had 9 assists. He trusted his guys.
Yeah.
Now, if you let him slip through the crack, he going to the rim.
Every time.
He going to the rim. But the thing that I like about him, he is very unselfish. He will give the ball up. Now, he's going to give the ball up if you're knocking down shots.
Yeah.
Because his mentality is, you're not knocking down shots and we losing, let me go in this phone booth and put this cape on and see what I can do.
Right.
Well, I'll say this. I will say this. You know, and again, every player in whether it's NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, NHL, those are the very best athletes in the world.
Absolutely.
Just start there. Don't want nobody. People be like, man, the guy on the end of the bench, he ain't good. Nah, he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. He just ain't better than the ones, you know,
that's out there.
That's out there, right?
Right.
I will say this, and you almost saw it happen tonight if Karl Anthony Towns don't go for 20, you know, in that fourth quarter. If you put people, it's one thing about, you know, having an opportunity to get having yourself a night, right? But in the playoffs, if you have yourself a night, then the next night it's going to be a script for you, particularly in basketball, right? And so from that perspective is, can you have the will and endurance, mind, body, and soul to come and have another one when typically that hadn't been your role, right? And so that's the difference. When I see teams like Indiana, teams like OKC, where they've you know, all season long, depending on that depth, and they've been every night somebody goes for 25 or, you know, 22, right? It's been consistent. And you hear them talk, they always talk about the numbers, right? We trust our teammates. You look at Minnesota, you look at the Knicks, right? Do they have that, right? Do they have that on their roster where somebody off that bench or somebody that's not Karl Anthony Towns or Ant-Man or Julius Randle, you know, that can, you know, or Jalen Brunson that can come off the bench and be that factor, the remaining of that series? I don't know. I don't know if they have that. Right. And that's the biggest question, you know, we about to find out.
What are you expecting in game 4? Because the first 3 games have been a snooze fest. Right. They haven't been close. It's very disappointing. I mean, 42 points, plus 20. I mean, you're like, bro, these are supposed to be the 2 best teams in the Western Conference, and they're losing by an average of probably 20 points a game. That's not good.
Again, I'm not even. I love the offensive flow of things, right? I think offensive high numbers is good, but in the playoffs, I think defensive strategy, right, is the most important part that we should be seeing more. To get beat by 40 or 30 plus in the playoffs is crazy to me.
Crazy.
It's fucking crazy to me, bro. I can't digest that. And I'm if you watch, and I'm watching as a fan, I'm like, yo, how does this happen? You know everything about this roster. Right. I mean, the scouting report is immense. I mean, you guys know in football, you know exactly what.
Yes. Everything.
Quarterback hold the ball. Like it's like
what routes he like to run, the splits he like to run them from, down and distant, area of the field, red zone, backed up, middle of the field, formation, script set, 2x1, 3x1, empty backfield.
But then, you know, the funny thing about it, Unc, and JL, even though you have all that information that you need, you can have all the information you need and study, watch film, but you still got to execute it once you get out there.
Execute it.
Absolutely.
You got to execute it once you get out there. And that's why I'm hoping, how I see the next game going. I think the Wolves are probably going to win again, but it has to come from the exact same way it did the first time. It all started with Ant.
They better win.
come out there right away. You got to be aggressive. Because if you lose this next game, you go down 3-1.
You're going home when you go back to OKC.
Going home.
Yeah, I think it's 100%. It's a must win for both Minnesota and Indiana, right?
Wow.
It's a must win, bro. I think you put too much at risk if you don't win those games, and it's damn impossible. Minnesota not about to go to OKC and win down 3-1 or even win the series. But it's interesting to see what's happening. I like games like tonight, where it's the score is tight. The energy is, everybody's sitting on the edge. Mm-hmm. Nobody want to see a game where the damn commentators got to make up stuff to talk about, in the third quarter.
Right. Yeah.
But that's crazy.
They talk about when they played way back when. No, let's keep the focus on this game. Right. But I mean, you got that, and sometimes that's why you got to be great at storytelling. Yep. Because every game is not going to be nip tuck, and then you got to find ways to try to keep the fans entertained the best you possibly can. After the Lakers got bounced, JJ Redick emphasized that the team needed to be in championship shape. While he didn't mention names, many took the comments as a clear message to Luka. Well, weeks later, Luka made a significant public appearance. Luka made his first significant public appearance by attending Real Madrid's basketball game and posted these on IG.
You think that's AI?
AI? That's what I was about to ask. There's no way. Hell, if he lost that weight that fast, why the hell he ain't doing it during the season?
Hey, that's
what I'm. Hey, I don't care what he look like right now. I'm talking about when he come back to play. I want to look like this when he come back to play.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Uncle J.O., you think he took that Olympic?
Olympic?
Huh?
Nah. He ain't on no. I don't think you can take that as the NBA player.
I have a question. Okay, you can't take that as an NBA player, right? How many weeks they've been out? They've been out of season? What, 3, 2? If that?
A month.
It ain't been that damn long for him to look like.
It ain't been that long for you to lose all that weight like that. I'm telling you, he probably took that Olympic stuff. I'm telling you. Man,
you know what's crazy? Like, I've watched him, like when you watch him play with his national team, he always looks thinner.
He does.
Then he comes back to the United States, and it's like he's eating yeast rolls and pasta.
But the American food, I mean, you look at Europeans, they're not as big as Americans. Yeah. It's something about the food.
He eating a lot.
If you go to Europe, you're not gonna see as many, and people that's a little heavier. You don't see a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, so he's doing something. I don't know if it's
now, J.O., you know this. Their bodies are going to be their bodies. They're not going to be sculpted. They're not going to have abs. They're not going to have caps on their shoulders. They're not going to have that much. They all look alike. I've never seen a European player with muscles. You look at Jokic. You look at Luka. You look at Manu. You look at Zubac. You look at any international player. Tell me the one. Sabonis. Tell me the one you say, okay. Caps on his shoulder, ripped up calves. That's how they look.
There's only one that's Giannis that I think is.
Giannis got that Nigerian base. There's a difference. My base is based in Nigeria. So he coming from the foundation, that stock.
Right.
It's a little different than what the Europeans, what Luka and Jokic and Manu and all those guys came out of. But he looks good. But like I said, I don't worry about the guy right now, and he ain't got to play for another 4-5 months. I want to see him look like this when he come back.
Well, it's strange that he would say that now if it wasn't a lot of truth to everything we heard coming out of Dallas.
Yeah.
And, when you look at him, you got kinesio tape everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's
not at 25. Not at 20. You shouldn't have kinesio tape. You shouldn't be put together like my grandma's coffee table when we were growing up. You shouldn't look like that. You know what I'm saying? We had that black electrical tape holding up everything.
Right.
No, but I'm saying he had kinesio tape at 23, 24. He's 26 now. I'm like, bro, why you need all that to hold you together?
But you remember now, he missed 91, 92 games the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, right.
He's missed a lot of games at an early age. And, it clearly is something behind when you let a talent like that leave at 25 years old. It's a hell of a lot of things got to be happening behind the scenes, to say, what, we're not even going after draft picks. We just want to go get one player that
basically it's a 1-for-1.
1 for 1, and we ain't gonna have no more conversation. So that said a lot. But you can see where Dallas trying to go with it. It's a risk. You got him #1 pick this year. We'll see how that turns out, with the rest of the bigs. I do believe that they're gonna have to probably move some pieces to bring on another piece. You're not gonna have Kyrie to start hell, you probably won't have Kyrie the first half of the season next year.
Exactly. I don't think Kyrie coming back till in January.
Well, he do a lot of meditating and a lot of,
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy on him. He got a torn ACL, and it's not like it's a big man that he got to get up and down. Kyrie is thin framed. I mean, theoretically, he could. I mean, it could be 7 months because when he tore that, he tore his knee in what, late March?
Yeah,
so April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, I see him probably coming back late December, probably early January, Jail.
Yeah, he hadn't been, but when you think about it, he hadn't been a player that will rush back anyway.
Nope.
Right, in his career, so he's going to make sure he's ready to go. But again, when he's right, he's one of the best.
Oh, he's spectacular. What do you think the Lakers need to do? What is there somebody you think the Lakers can get or should get in order to give them a great opportunity to compete for a title? Because at this point in time, I mean, that's all LeBron is really playing for.
Here's my question: can the Lakers be the Lakers with LeBron having the ball in his hand at a lesser level? Right? And even with Jokic, I mean with
Luka.
Can you have a third person that can take some of the pressure off of those two? Right? Because the problem is when those two have the ball in their hand the majority of the time, and obviously LeBron is a different monster. He can make things happen, get downhill, but the ball does stop.
Mm-hmm.
And so can you have somebody else that make life easier for those two, right? Because LeBron is 40 plus years old, right? He's not going to be able to carry the load like he's typically carried, even though he can still go for 30 or 40. But you're gonna need a third person that can really make things easier. And I'm not sure how they do it with the cap issues that they have. But we'll see. But I don't think they have enough right now. I think they're gonna be 7th, 8th, 9th, play-in, type of deal if they don't make a move.
Oh, they got to make a move. I think the thing is, first of all, this is what we know. LeBron is better without the ball than Luka. Luka cannot play off the ball. Mm-hmm. LeBron can play off the ball because you're not putting Luka in the dunker spot. You're not going to do. There are certain things you're not going to do. And prior to this playoffs, Austin Reeves was that guy that gave him a break because we saw Austin Reeves go get 40 against Indiana and without Luka and LeBron. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what happened. The reports are that he had an injury. He got nicked at some point in time late in the season, or maybe got nicked in that playoff series, and he wasn't as impactful as he needed to be. Right. I thought they had an opportunity in game. What was that? Was that game 3? Yeah, game 3. But he ended up playing LeBron them 46 minutes, and he just wore him out. You got to get, bro. You played. First of all, LeBron had already played like 41 minutes in game 2, and then you turn around and burn him 46 in game 3.
Yep.
Look, I don't care what 40-year-old, he cannot.
Yeah.
There ain't been a 40-year-old created that can play in a playoff game after coming off a 41 minute.
But so Phoenix had that idea of that third person being Bradley Beal. Obviously, Bradley Beal hadn't been healthy, but I'm talking about an impact player, coming in and supposedly having that level of impact on the team where those guys, hell, maybe Brian be able to take a couple more nights off. Right. Yeah. And impactful. I just think, right now it's only downhill now because Brian is putting up so many significant numbers from perspective of just scoring, having to score, assist, rebound, set the table, to turn the bus on, feed the kid.
He's still 24, 8, and 8. But the problem is they need a big. Yeah. Because you can't start Rudy at the 5 and LeBron at the 4, or LeBron at the 5 and Rudy at the 4. Because you see Rudy Gobert look like Shaq. 27 and 24. You can't. They're just too small. Jackson Hayes, you can only. For whatever reason, JJ's like the hell with it. Jackson, we're not going to even play you in Game 5, and he only played marginal minutes in Game 4. So with that being said, I thought the Mark Williams. I don't know why they nullified the trade, but I thought he would have been a big addition for them, Jo, because they need a big. Luka leads a lob threat. If you go back and study Luka, look at Luka. He's his best when he has a lob threat.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Like I don't know why the NBA is getting away from the veteran stuff. Yeah, you got a guy like I use Dwight Howard. He always seemed to be in shape. You know, looking for a guy to get rebounds, block shots, and defend them. And
He did a better job against Rudy Gobert than Jackson Hayes or anybody else did.
100%, right? I just think that
He's a bigger body too.
bigger body, right? And he's a savvy veteran. He's been one of the best defenders, all the time when it come down to protecting that rim and rebounding the basketball. But again, most teams don't seem to want to go get veteran players, and I'm not sure. The NBA needs to put in a rule right now, because if you want the product, when you talk about the issues with people watching the NBA and the ratings going down, it's because you got the young leading the young, right? So you don't have you don't even have to have you could take a role of a player coach role, right, and take that off the cap. The NBA can do anything, right? If you get with the union, they can make it work. Good people in place that helps develop, and you look at Jackson Hayes, and they signed another
Alex Lynn,
right? If you bring yes,
he should be the tallest high school or college coach next year.
But this is what I'm saying. If you have they just call it Dwight Howard. I'm just use him for example, right?
Yes.
You have somebody in there mentoring these young boys and getting them and helping them understand the importance of everything they do or supposed to do. Then you're in a better situation, right? You're not saying you got to go pay them $5 million, but just just don't put a veteran on keep him off the team because you got to pay him a little bit more because he's a veteran. Just create a role.
JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee was available.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Why not?
I mean, so is the NBA doing similar to what the NFL is doing also?
Yeah.
They really going young.
Yeah.
They really going young and doing away with all the veterans outside of quarterback, a specific quarterback that is still getting the opportunity to play regardless of age. But it's like the NFL and NBA.
Yeah, because the vet minimum, Ocho, with a certain number of years is $1 million. Well, I get a guy right out of college or a first year guy and pay him $300,000, $400,000.
Right.
Save 600. What's 600,000 when you making 300 million?
Right.
I don't get that.
Well, I guess the question in basketball, I mean, is do you really want to win? I mean, doesn't it matter? I mean, most of the basketball's not like football where you have historical families that's involved with these teams, right? Basketball's not that, right? Basketball, matter of fact, the majority of the NBA now is new ownership. Right. And so from a perspective, what is the real purpose, right? Is it, invest into a team, let the value grow, and then sometime down the road sell it?
Get up off it.
Right.
Because that's the difference. Because if you look at the NFL, a lot of these owners, now some of these owners now have other things, but for the longest time, Jo and Ocho, these were family run business. These were mom and pop shops. That's all they had. Now you look at teams, people that buy teams now. That's not their number one business. That team is not their number one business.
Yeah.
The Aldersons that just bought the Dallas Mavericks, they're gambling. That's their number one business. You look at the guy that bought the Sacramento Kings. You look at Steve Ballmer, who bought the Clippers. That was not his number one business. Now that's what he does now, but he's worth $100 billion.
Yeah.
So he spent so that's not what it is. Not like the NFL. It's not like the Hunts. Now the Hunts have other things, but it's a family. But for the most part, NBA is a lot now. They're not family. These tech guys, these guys that made money investing in Silicon Valley and things like that. They're the one that's buying the team. They're not like, I don't know. I'm trying to think who's the oldest. So you're not gonna find somebody like the McClaskeys that own the Bears. Her dad, Virginia McCaskey, she just passed away. Her dad, George Hallis, founded the Bears, passed it down. You ain't gonna find that in the NBA. You're not gonna find the Roonies like the Steelers, owned since 1933. You're not gonna find that like the Maras and the Giants.
When did Dolan buy the Knicks? Or was the Knicks handed down to him?
No, he had.
I think he had his dad.
His dad, yeah, that's what I did. He may be the only one.
But he might be. No, what you call him? Jeannie Buss. Her dad, since 70? I think he bought the team in 79. So he might be the longest standing. That was his dad, right? Yeah, he passed it down. Yeah.
The Browns too, huh?
Yeah, but well, you know, Jimmy had Bengals. Mike Brown, it got passed down to his dad. You might Ursay, he took over for his dad. So they just pass it down. Now these tech people coming in there with $4, $5, $6 billion, and it's gone.
Yep.
You know, the Waltons just bought the Broncos. I mean, he's worth $100 billion. What's $4 billion to him? We just saw Josh Harris. He just purchased the Commanders last year over $6.5 billion. He also owned the 76ers. So it's different. It's a different time now. But I agree with you, JO. I think they should have the vets on the team to help these young guys understand and navigate their way through. I think they're doing a better job, the PA of both PAs, of having guys understand money. Like, bro, you're not a doctor, you're not a lawyer. You're not going to have a 20-year career.
Right.
The average career is about 3.5 years.
Yep.
3.5. So even when you factor in Tom Brady that played 23, and you factor in Peyton Manning that played 18, 19, and Drew Brees and Rodgers and all these guys, a lot of guys just play in 1 year. A lot of guys not even playing at all. So it comes whittle it down to 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Bro, you're going to be 25. And that's the job that you're probably going to have for the next 20 years. It's not going to be in the NBA, the MLB, or you know, whatever the case may be. Whatever the profession you starting in, there's a good chance by the time you're 25, you're going to have another job, and it's not going to be a professional athlete.
Yeah, I think too, man, you know, football is obviously significantly different than basketball, right? You guys draft for exact need.
Yes.
And every pick is a value pick, right? Yeah. I think sometimes right now in basketball, you know, they're drafting, you know, best available, even though you might draft a point guard and you got 3 already on the roster.
Right.
And so, you know, I think that's the difference in basketball where, you know, when you talk about those 2 or 3 years or 4 years, it's a changing of the guard happening in the NBA because you don't get a lot of time. And if they send your ass down to the G League and you're a lottery pick, that already telling you where you at and what they think.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yep. Jill, we're going to get you out of here on this. You're the head coach at Dynamic Prep High School in Irving, Texas. Max Prep announced that Dynamic Prep finished #1 in the final top 10 high school basketball ranking. J.O., when you were playing, did you always knew you wanted to be a head coach? And what's that journey been like for you?
Listen, bro, I had no idea that I was a head coach until I was a head coach, to be honest. But it's been, man, honestly, it's been one of those things where, to be completely honest with you, man, like you know, I was kind of dealing with some stuff. I was dealing with my own personal issues when it came to, you know, I had a little abandonment issue, you know, growing up. You know, I met my dad when I was 30 years old. He died 13 months later. I was 13 years into the NBA when that happened. So I've always struggled a little bit with this thing. And then obviously after the deal happened in Detroit, I started, you know, I didn't love playing as much anymore.
Okay.
Because of everything. And so when I was done, I wanted to just go and be with kids.
Okay.
Just give back what was given to me. I was fortunate enough when I was a young boy, I had Xavier McDaniel start a little team in Columbia, South Carolina. Tyrese Haliburton gave back. Alex English had some camps I used to go to. So I just wanted to give back to kids, man. And I just really put my head down and just started, you know, investing into the community that way. And we've had an amazing run, you know, with Drive Nation, the club. You know, we've had a bunch of lottery picks and first round picks and even second round picks over the last eight years. And now, you know, I feel like I needed to start at a school, which is more of an impact because you get them 5 days a week versus, you know, 2 or 3 days a week when it comes to club. So, you know, I'm energized about it. Honestly, I don't know how long I'm a coach. I'm a coach again next year. But I do believe that, you know, you have to give back. If you have knowledge and ability to give back to your community, man, you take those tools and give back to these young kids, not only these kids, but most importantly, these parents that don't quite understand what it is, you know, when it comes down to the business of being a pro and the pro shit that you got to do every day to become a pro and not skip steps. And so that's the reason why, you know, I do what I do. And that's why I started Dynamic Prep.
You just got to be honest with him. Your son not going to be LeBron James. He's not going to be Steph. He's not going to be Michael Jordan because, you know, every parent think their kid is that kid.
But you know what, Unc, I'm going to tell you the truth.
Okay.
For the first time ever. I hear more parents talk about NIL than they talk about the pros.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Crazy.
Yeah. Man, they worry about that money.
You got parents that are looking to retire off their kids going to college.
Oh, Lord.
And so when you look at the product, right? You look at the product now, and when you talk about the pros, the deterioration of it is happening at the youth level.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so now you got everybody in place running to go grab kids, and I got this, I can get you a deal. And so the parents are their mind is so frazzled that they can't think appropriately. So they're making decisions based off the economics of what they're hearing, not knowing that true money percent is really like 2% anyway getting the money. Everybody ain't getting all that, right?
Yes.
And so that's the thing where we try to bring some real positive information and tools and attach your day-to-day with what you say you're trying to get to, right? And so for us, our job is to continue to invest into the community and to show people, hey, look, man, this is about the work. If you do, think about it, Ocho, when you guys coming through, you wasn't worried about where you was gonna be chosen, right? Because you was good.
Yeah, I was already chosen.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So we weren't about the reps and the work that we got to put in. I ain't
absolutely
making no all-star game or getting picked for this or getting picked for that. So that was coming no matter what. I just got to figure out, can my schedule handle it?
Right.
But right now, people are willing to stop working to try to talk about or try to get something they ain't invested no sweat equity into from the start. And so that's what's problematic about everything. And that's why you're seeing the transition happen so hard or is becoming so hard. And that's why college now, coaches are saying, we only trust 25-year-olds.
Yeah.
We don't trust high school kids no more. 25-year-olds, they should be pro by now.
Yeah. And they've been and started asking that. I mean, people was asking, I remember hearing the question, whether Blake Griffin was so good, why did he go back for his sophomore season? What? I mean, if a guy's good, it's like basketball. If a guy don't come out after his freshman year, well, man, he must not be that good. I mean, you're never going to see another Tim Duncan. You're not going to see a 4-year superstar like that. You're just not. It's not going to happen.
Man,
it's not.
Them parents mad because they got to even send their kids to school, right? They want to skip that damn level too to go get some money.
Damn,
it's crazy, bro. And it was crazy. I was just down at the live period down in Memphis 2 weeks ago, and I'm talking to the coach. I'm in the gym talking to the coaches for this is the club side, and they said, "Man, we just hit checking boxes." So we really recruiting out of the portal. And that's staggering to me because, again, as a parent, my kid's going to SMU next year to play in the ACC. But as a parent, when I'm looking at this and I'm trying to, I'm still have to account for the other parents I have.
Right.
I'm a little bit like, damn, like really? So these kids, you got some kids out here that's actually really doing it the right way. Mm-hmm. And he may get skipped over because the coach is now checked out because now they too afraid to recruit a high school kid because they think the high school kid gonna get him fired.
Wow.
Remember, it's a money game now. So if
it is
kid 3, 4, $500,000, if he don't come there and get busy, these coaches gone.
Okay.
And plus the thing is, JL, is that you can't coach kids like you get on a kid now, he getting into that portal. Ain't no correction. You just got to sometimes it's just like you got to let the kid run amok. Like, bro, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm going to coach you hard because you said you want to go to that next level?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what it's going to take for you to get there.
Yep. No, 100%. And I'm gonna shout out my school. That's the reason why we in just year 3 we win it. Right? We get ranked the best prep school because I'm not about to let no parent come to my program telling me what to do with the kids because you talk about if your kids say, okay, hey, I want to go to college. I want to be the best to go to college. I want to go to the pros. I know that shit.
Right.
Right.
So which one of y'all play college ball? Which one of y'all played in the NBA or the WNBA? Okay, get back over there. Let me do this.
But you know what I call it though? I said, look, I say this to parents all the time. I said, would you let a career, and I ain't got no problems with lawn care people, right? Would you let a career lawn care guy do your accounting? No. I said, nah. I said, well, why would you mess around with your kid unless somebody else that has no history? You ain't got to be a pro. has no history on doing the very things that your kids say he inspired to do. And we see that too many times, man. And then, obviously we got to be a little bit better in our community and how we work together as well, too, when it comes to these kids.
Yep. Jill, thank you for joining us. You got anything you want to promote? Where can they find you? IG, Twitter, Facebook, anything you want to
Yeah, IG, man. I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna start doing a little bit more. I'd like to come back on sometime soon, man.
Absolutely.
Love to be on. I was a little bit. Again, I told you about my dad's situation, so I never want to miss a moment with my daughter at Texas. I didn't want to miss a moment with my son. Now I'm an empty nester, so I'm about to start hitting these rounds on doing stuff like this with you guys and on TV.
Love it. Oh, absolutely. Your daughter's a volleyball player, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my mini.
Congratulations on that, man. J.O., thanks for joining us. Jermaine O'Neal, 6-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA selection from Eau Claire High School in Columbia, South Carolina. J.O., thank you for joining us, man. Come back and join us soon.
All right, Jay.
Ocho, man, I'm gonna hit you, man. I'm coming down to Miami, bro.
Come on, man. Come on down here, man. We can play one-on-one.
All right, we can do that. I'm with it. All right, appreciate y'all, man.
All right, appreciate it, J.O. Ocho, during OTAs this week, AJ Brown admitted surprise at his current mindset. Coming into the league, we're taught we're playing for this reason. We're playing for the trophy. And once we got the trophy, it was just like, I thought everything would be fulfilled, like the hard work and everything. But no, it's a journey. It's the journey that matters the most, that means the most, because those are the moments you look back with your teammates, those that are spending time with, you're going to war with, you're suffering together, you're winning together. Yeah. I mean, once you look, I wanted to be a Pro Bowl player.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an all-pro player, and I wanted to win a championship. I ain't think about no Hall of Fame. I ain't even realized the Hall of Fame until Mark Kinsler told me in '96, like, man, he's like, bro, you could put together a couple more years, you can go to the Hall of Fame. Right. I was like, what? They take 7th rounders in the Hall of Fame. It's like, it don't matter what round you get drafted in, they go by production. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay. That was the first time that I had really even gave a thought. Now, mind you, Ocho, in '91, we played in the Hall of Fame game. I went to that very building that my bus resides in.
Mm-hmm. That's dope.
Not even thinking. Man, it never even, bro, I'm from Glenville. I'm from Savannah State. Mm-hmm. Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Man, Joe Green in the Hall of Fame. Terry Bradshaw, Roger Staubach, the greats of the greats in the Hall of Fame.
Legends.
Yes. But you realize, and it's not good enough to make one Pro Bowl because anybody can do it once.
Yeah.
Can you go back when they know you the guy? When they game plan for your ass?
Over and over.
Can you become an all-pro again when they game planning for you?
Yeah.
When you walk to the middle of the field, man, hell of a game, Sharpe. Man, Ocho, hey, man, you gave us that work today, Ocho. Hey, don't worry about it. We'll see your ass again. Yeah, that's what I want. I want when y'all go in the meeting on Wednesday, I want y'all to circle the A, that tight end of 84. We got to deal with him. Mm-hmm. And I totally agree with AJ because there's nothing like that's what you Ocho, I never missed the game. I missed the bus rides, the plane rides, the bull jiving in the locker room, in the training room joking, in the meeting room cracking jokes. That's what because that's what you're never going to be able to replace.
Ever. You
never. And you look, you're not besties with everybody, but you're not going to be around 10, 11 guys that y'all laughing and joking and back. You're never going to be like that again. It's never going to be like that again, Ocho.
No, it's not. And listen, but what you just talked about AJ Brown, I've become a little bit more fond of young bull, man, as of late, hearing some of the things he's talked about. I'm not going to get into detail on it, but his perspective on life and other topics that I've seen him speak on. And he's become a huge favorite of mine. Not even the receiver, AJ Brown. I'm talking about the human being.
The person.
The husband, the person he is, and values and morals in which he stands, and said, I never knew that about him. I never knew it about him because I've never had the opportunity to interact with him outside of the game of football. But hearing him and where he stands, and his beliefs, dog, very, very, very admirable from the outside looking in on what I thought an individual was like, based on what I see on the field, but in who he truly is off the field. Dude, I love dude, man. I love he real sharp. He's
Yeah.
sharp and he got a sharp mind, man. So it was a joy to see him in a different light than what I expected based on the football player that I got to watch on Sundays.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember we won the Super Bowl, and obviously, man, there's nothing like it. Like I said, we broke the NFC. The NFC had run 14 straight Super Bowls, Ocho. Um, and to win it and to hold that trophy, to actually be on the field, to have the confetti come down in your colors, and you got the trophy. Now, think about how many times I've seen the Super Bowl winning team go on the field and get that trophy, and everybody's looking at it. Now I finally have it.
Yeah.
A small kid from Glenville, Georgia, went to Savannah State and 7th-round draft pick, and I'm the starting tight end. They pronounce my name and everything, and everybody in Glenville say, you know what, I know somebody that actually played in the Super Bowl. As a matter of fact, I probably went to school with him, his brother, or his sister. That was me. And winning that trophy, that was at that point in time probably the crowning achievement of my career. And I remember going into the offseason, and I'm like, because back then, it was 16 games, Ocho, and then, you know, we still had the 2 weeks, and so we started playing. I mean, first week, so I think the Super Bowl was damn near like the end of January. It didn't bleed into February. And I just remember like the offseason, Ocho, I was like, man. So I took about an extra week off and got back into it. And I remember when we came back to OTAs, and Mike got up in there and was like, hey, congratulations, guys. I'm proud of this. I'm proud of you guys. He said, if you want to be special, you got to do it again.
Yeah.
There are a lot of teams that's won one in a row. He said, if you want to be special, you want to be remembered, we got to go back to back. And that was the mindset that we adopted. And I remember once we came out of, we had a great, as a matter of fact, we had a great training camp. Everything was great. We were having fun, and Mike would put one, like most teams have their schedule up there, all 16 games.
Right.
We put one game at a time. He said, this is a 16-round fight. We're going one round at a time.
Right.
Bing, boom, knock the Patriots out. And so we just going down, just checking them off, Ocho, checking them off. 13 weeks. Because think about it, we won our last game. Won our last 2 games. 97. Yeah, won our last 2 games in 97. No, last game in 97. Beat the Chargers. Then we go through the playoffs, win the Super Bowl, then we come out. So we win like 18 straight games, Ocho. Feeling good.
Yeah.
Get to the playoffs. But I agree with everything he said. There's something about that moment. And when I get on the phone and I talk to Burns, or me and Ross Smith, calling Foots, Fee, some of them guys, and man, we just, hey man, you remember such and such? We was at the back of the plane, Joni. I mean, very few times, Ocho, do we ever talk about the Super Bowl game itself. Right. We're talking about going to the game. We're talking about on the plane ride back, on the bus ride back. Very seldom do we mention anything about the Super Bowl itself. We always talk about the plane ride, or man, you remember we got snowed in and we had to go get people on snowmobiles to go to Buffalo. We get to Buffalo like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we got a 1 o'clock game. Yeah, man, that was so much fun. Ain't nothing like that. Ain't nothing like that. And then when you're in it, Ocho, you don't get to enjoy it. You don't. Because you're in it. And you feel if you enjoy it, it's going to take you out of that mindset of what you need to do to make sure you try to stay in it. So, man, ain't nothing like that. Hey, AJ Brown said he's also upset about the current haircut prices in the country. Haircut prices are crazy nowadays. I used to pay $20 for a cut. AJ, ain't no more $20 cut, cuz.
But I used to pay $5.
$250. But you got to realize, Ocho, I was getting haircuts in the 70s. Me and my brother, my grandfather give me and my brother, $4, $2 to $5. Yeah, hey, both of us get a haircut. In college, that's all you was giving you, a teammate. Man, I wish I would pay a guy $5 to cut my hair. Boy, you better, man, please.
Boy, times are different, boy.
Yeah.
Times are
Man,
different.
Ocho, look, I ain't got no problem. You know, hey, good $60 for a cut. I'm gonna go ahead and tip you 40. Ocho, dude, they be wanting 200, 300 to cut me.
Man, listen, it's time. Listen,
Charge $15 for a part.
boy, you know, hey, hold on. You talk about a haircut, $200. Boy, 2 steaks at the grocery store. Boy, $43.
Yeah. Well, you ain't. Well, guess what? How much are they in the restaurant? $70. So
Hey,
at least you got 2.
Hey, they got to make their money up some kind of way. They ain't got no choice to mark it up.
A lot of times, what happens, Ocho, is that if barbers cut athletes, celebs, and entertainers, they want to live that lifestyle. Well, bro, you need to play a sport. You need to act, play an instrument, or dance, sing, or something, because you not finna come up on me. Hey, I grow dreads first. I get twists. I'm not paying no $300 for no cut. I don't care if I got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 million. I'm not paying no $300 for no cut, Ocho.
Hey,
I'm not.
That's a lot.
For just a cut?
Listen, that's a lot. Now, what we can say is about our friend not too long ago who's down here in Miami. Now that kind of service,
yes.
I forgot his Instagram name, but for that kind of service,
yeah,
$300. Now we talking. We can talk.
Oh yeah. Okay. If you gonna cut it, you gonna dye it, you gonna give me a facial
and all. Yeah,
I got you.
Now that I understand. Now I'm not gonna get that every time.
Right.
Not every time, but every so often, you know, you got your nice little date night with your girl. You want.
Yeah.
Boom. There you go. Now you good.
Man, please. Man, you think I'm gonna let you gonna be on my hair for cutting my hair for 30 minutes and I'm gonna give you 300? And then you wanna expect a tip.
Tip who? Tip what?
I got a tip. Don't eat egg salad and ride the bus. That would be a terrible experience for everybody. I ain't got nothing for you, Ocho. No. But nah, I'm trying to think. AJ, yeah, well, I'm saying, I'm trying to think when I played, how much was I playing for a cut? Yeah, I was playing about $20, $30.
Yeah.
Yeah. I paid the dude cut my hair. Now he do a good job. I give him a hey, I think he like 45, 50 out of here. I give him 100.
Damn, what big money. Okay.
Yeah.
Big money.
But they do a good job of getting me in. Cause like when I was in Atlanta, Ocho, I don't do no walk-ins. I like a standing appointment. So for my nails, my facials, my haircut, my massage, I would pay for the whole year.
God damn.
Pay the whole year. Cause guess what, Ocho? When I say, hey, I want my time, they're more apt to move somebody to get me in as opposed to them moving me to get somebody else in.
But you done already paid everything.
Yeah, I done paid. I done got back.
Hey, boy,
Yeah. I always did that.
Hey, you complaining about me on you $5,200 and you paying for nails, manicures, and haircuts a whole year.
They provide the service. What you doing, you taking money out my pocket.
God.
I can't pay him. I told him, I told the barber I would pay you money, but Ocho owe me $5,900 and I can't pay you.
I ain't never heard nobody do that, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, you did.
Hey, Ocho, check this out. I remember I had ran out because I get so I got this package and they ladies run a special on facials. You know, if you go ahead and pay, you buy 12. Can I get them once? She'll give you 15.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the package, got the job at Fox. I still got some of the books. I have some of the books.
Right.
I ain't got them no more. But but I like that. I like a standing appointment. They know I'm coming at this time. Hey, when I get my massage? Monday. I used to get massages Monday. No, Wednesday and Friday. That's my massage. Haircut was Thursday. Nails, Thursday. I like that. I like knowing. I like structure. I like a schedule. I like being on a schedule. I think everybody knows that. Right. And I'm gonna be ticked if I come in there and I gotta wait longer than 5 minutes. Because you know I'm coming. I've already paid you for this time. Right. So don't be trying to get I can squeeze you in, come at 2:45 when you know my appointment's at 3. Because I'm gonna feel some type of way. I'm gonna be So just so everybody know. Sheduer discussed the hate he receives online while saying he's planning to be visible in the Cleveland community. 99% of the hatred directed at me is towards my pops. And then I'm just his son. But the kids didn't grow up in the era where they watched him play. It's just the older generation that does it to me rather than younger people. Because when I come to a person, there's no negativity I see. But it's all over online. That's why I say I like going to schools in person and actually meeting the kids. And any questions they have, I say, just ask me whatever your question you want. Pick any question, no filter, no anything. That's what they say. And then I just answer whatever they need me to answer. What you think, Ocho? Any truth to what he said?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Listen, the young folks really don't have a problem with it. They enjoy them, but it's the older kids, not older kids, the older folks in general.
Right.
You know, that's doing all the hating. And yes, some of the hate does come from his father, but also some of the hate is going to come from him and what he's been able to accomplish so far. What people mistake for arrogance or cockiness, which is merely confidence, which is all he's showing. Some people don't like that. Some people want you to be humble. They want you to dim your light because it makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah, my light, it hurting your eyes. My light shining bright.
It might do, but I'm not dimming it. Obviously, he's a quarterback. The quarterback position is supposed to carry themselves a certain way. It's a way in which he doesn't carry himself, and he hasn't been given any grace, as opposed to other quarterbacks that were just as boisterous. You know, they don't know. You know, with the money.
They love that, didn't they?
And listen, it's different. It's a double standard, but it is what it is. So you understand that. I hope he doesn't change anything. Just put his head down, do the work you need to do, and handle your business and change the quarterback position, which hasn't been good for the Browns consistently in a very, very long time since number 19.
Since Bernie Kosar in the 80s.
Yeah.
And before that, you got to go back to Otto Graham. So they really only had two good quarterbacks.
So I'm wishing him well, man.
Ocho, you're not going to be able to win with people because if I dress nice, he trying to show off. Mm-hmm. If I dress down, he broke.
Yeah.
You see, Ocho, there ain't no in between.
No.
And there's no in between because it's you're projecting. You're projecting.
Right.
The man's confidence. The man believes in himself. Mm-hmm. Everybody that's ever accomplished anything has believed in themselves. Sometimes you're the only. If I don't believe in me, who else gonna believe in me?
Exactly.
When people told me, Shannon, you ain't gonna do nothing, I believe the one person that told me I would, me. Because I was the one that was gonna be lifting that weight. I was gonna be the one that was running. I was gonna be the one that stayed in and didn't go out and party. That was going to be me. Now, if it didn't happen, Ocho, I wasn't going to be able to blame anybody because I knew what I wanted to become. I knew what I wanted to accomplish. But no matter what you do, if I tell you I'm going out there, I'm bragging. Then I don't show up and play well. He's sorry. He's terrible. Now, I told you what I was going to do. I'm bragging. I don't do anything. I'm not any good. I dress well. He tried to show off. I got hold of my. He broke.
Hey, listen.
So how do I win?
By not caring.
I eat at a nice restaurant. I wish I would pay $100 for a steak. Man, them drinks cost $30. They see me eat at a fast food chain. Man, he can't eat. He with a fast food chain because he can't eat at that $100 plate. You see what I'm saying, Ocho?
Yeah.
So at some point in time, you just got to be secure in who you are.
Right. And do what you want to do, no matter what.
And do what you want to do.
You can't please everybody.
Right. And that's the hardest part.
Right.
Is that because before, Ocho, we didn't have social media. So people couldn't jump in your comments. People didn't have a way of saying anything. I mean, the national media, they might, you had a bad game, they would tear you up. But now, I mean, everybody jump on your timeline. Everybody got something to say. Everybody.
You have to be in an era where everybody is very sensitive. Individuals that are in the limelight, whether it be sports,
entertainment,
you have to be mentally strong. Mentally strong. You just have to be. And if you're not mentally strong, you don't need to be in certain business. businesses in general, because they coming for you.
Yeah.
They're
Because
coming.
look, everybody's not happy for your success. And
At all.
sometimes they want to see you successful until you become successful.
Mm.
And then, I told you, Andrew Schultz told me a great quote. He said, the easier it is to make money doing something, the more resentful and envious people will become of you. Because everybody feel like they got a voice and they can talk.
Yeah.
So if you make an X amount of money, hell, I can do that. Why he get to do it and I can't? You see, everybody realize, bro, I ain't finna be 6'9". I'm not gonna be able to run no 4.3 40. I'm not gonna be able to hit the curve ball, the slider, or the change up. But talking, Ocho, you mean to tell me with a camera and a microphone, and he can make that? He making that kind of money and making that kind of money.
Yeah.
So the easier it is to do something, the more resentful and envious people will become of you. And and I'm not, look, like I said, I wasn't used to this, Ocho. I wasn't used, like, I play football. I'm expecting Kansas City to dislike me. I expect the Raider fans to dislike me. I'm on the Broncos. We beat hell out your team. You should dislike me.
Right.
But when I got into this, and I didn't know I had this, like, even at Undisputed, because, I was everybody's favorite uncle. You know what I'm saying, Ocho? I was talking about the George Floyd. I was talking about Walter Scott. I was talking about Eric Garner. I was talking about Sandra Black. I was doing all that stuff, Ocho. We talked about the Colin Kaepernick, Skip and I. We talked about it when everybody else had abandoned it and would nobody touch it. We touched it. And I'm talking about with both feet. So I was like, I'm on my own now, because everybody kept telling me, man, you need to be on your own. You don't need to be taking this, yada, yada, yada. I said, okay. Man, he a sellout. He gossipy. He zesty. It's like, well, damn.
Well, they gonna come now. They gonna come.
But you know what? And a lot like Shannon, that comes along with it. I was like, really? That comes along with it? I've always felt I wanted the fortune, damn the fame. You hear a lot of people say, Ocho, fame and fortune. Nah, I could take the fortune.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's nice. It's nice to be, the fortune is very nice. I hear a lot of people tweet that out. I want the money, not the fame. Well, it's really hard to have one without the other.
It is.
It's very hard to have one without the other. There's no give and take.
Well, it all depends on how you accumulated it. See, if you accumulated it in sports, if you accumulated it in entertainment, it's hard. Man, a lot of these billionaires, they walk by you wouldn't even know who they were.
No, you wouldn't. You would. Definitely would. Definitely would.
You would have no earthly idea that such and such is worth $1 billion, $2 billion, 800 million, because they didn't make it in a way that you saw them make it.
Right.
See, if a guy playing sports, LeBron James has made 800 million and 500 million in NBA salary. Tom Brady made $300+ million in NFL salary. So you can see that. But a guy that invested in Google that you didn't see, a guy that bought Netflix, a NVIDIA, you didn't see. Somebody had Berkshire Hathaway, you didn't see. So, and they sitting on tons, or they got this invested in a startup, Uber. And now they 10x, 15x, 30x their money, sitting on hordes of cash, Ocho.
Oh, yeah.
Walk right by you.
You never know.
Never know. But you know what, Ocho? And now you see it comes along with it. That comes along with the territory. I feel bad, but I think Sheduer being in the situation that he's in and being who he is, I think his dad has prepared him for this.
Oh,
I think he's prepared him extremely well.
Absolutely.
Time got it. People say time was selfish, going back and forth, playing football and basketball. Why don't he devote? Bro, I mean, think about it. If you could make 20 million doing one job and you could make another 20 million doing another job, he was like, nah, I don't want that 20 million over there. It wasn't like he was doing it on the free. They were paying him to play baseball.
Oh, yeah.
He was getting 2 checks. And he was good.
Damn good.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, some people are delighting that he went into the 5th round, but Ocho, it ain't where you go. It's what you do once you get there.
That's it. That's my favorite line.
Because at the end of the day, you're gonna have to show one way or another. Cam Ward with the first pick. He gonna have to show what he can do in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, you gonna get a helmet, shoulder pads, and cleats. Okay,
go
prove you are what you say you are.
And he flying under the radar right now too now, because of all the attention.
Yes,
he flying under the radar. I'm wishing him well too.
Yeah, I mean, I know you from Miami, but everybody wasn't happy when Ocho went to Cincinnati.
No, probably not.
No, hell no.
No, I didn't care either. Cause one thing
that's my dream. It ain't yours.
Hey,
I don't know what your dream. I ain't living your dream. I'm living mine.
Hey, it ain't matter who cared or who cared not.
Nothing.
I knew what was gonna happen when I got there. I tell you that.
I ain't worked this hard to have a cup of coffee. Oh yeah, I tried out for the Broncos. Oh no, it wasn't gonna be no tryout. I don't know nothing about that, Ocho.
I ain't had no choice but to make it.
That's it. Yeah, to put all those years. Think about how long you've been playing. I think I started playing tackle football at 9.
Yeah, I started at 4. Liberty City Optimist. Miami Lakes Optimist. I'd never forget.
Yeah, I started playing football at 9 years of age. So 9 and got drafted at 21, turned 22 like 2 months later.
Yeah.
So 13 years. That would, not making it wasn't no option for me. I knew they had something I can do.
Mm-hmm. And now
I have a 13-year special team career, but I'll go play in the NFL.
Something.
Don't give me no chance. Give me a chance if you want to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
You can get the job back.
I'm thinking about that, boy. That's so long ago.
Yeah.
1998. Miami Lakes Optimist. I remember my coach too. Miami Lakes Optimist Pythons. Off 67th Avenue.
Boy, you wasn't no damn 4 years old in 1998. What the hell are you talking about?
No, I'm thinking about my first coach. I'm telling you what I can remember and recollect.
You said 1998.
Yes, I started at 4, but I don't remember my coaches when I started that young. I'm telling you when I first
remember my coach, Dale Dutton.
Yeah.
Was my first coach. His mom was a substitute teacher.
Right.
And that day at PE, smoked all the kids. Tell me, you ought to play football for my son. You want to play football, son?
Yeah.
I like you better you talk to my grandma. You married, boy, ain't you? Yes, ma'am. Bus dropped me off. The lady damn near run me over, pull it in the yard, don't you?
Hell no.
Lady, I got on the bus. I said, well, damn. You could have called.
Mm-hmm. Damn, man, that's them some good memories, man.
Dorsey Minson was rest his soul. He was my second coach.
Yeah.
Because you pick. Everybody got to pick 3. You get to pick 3 players. Because that's how you do it, Ocho. See, like I came late. They had already started my first coach. They had already got their team already picked. But I was gonna play on her team, and I was like, I got to play on his team because he's gonna take me home.
Right.
Yo, hey, if you weren't bringing Shannon Sharpe home, I couldn't play.
Right.
Because we didn't have a 1 car, and my sister wasn't gonna be coming to pick me up from practice. So Mary said, Francis, you gonna fetch that boy home? Yeah, Mary, I'll bring him home. Okay. So she brought me home. Next year, Dorsey, I went the first round. Brought me home. And then what's the guy? Billy Shoemaker? Oh man, I can't think of the guy's name, Ocho. Damn. Might have been, was it Dale Kicklighter? Dale Kicklighter might have been my coach. I gotta ask Libby tomorrow. But I got that ride home though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And when I got to high school, Ocho, I know it was they wasn't supposed to do it, but you had to, because my sister would drop my aunt off to all the football games, basketball games, the track meet. Shit, you had to. Sorry, damn. You had to take my aunt home.
Right.
Yeah, my aunt ride home. It'd be all the guys and my aunt. Hey, coach. You know my aunt. Oh yeah, she can come on.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, man. She my aunt Jane, call her top. She went to every one of my football games in high school. Every one of my home basketball games, she was there. Every one of my track meets, she was there. Every last one of them.
Damn.
I come out, I get dressed. Top, you ready to go? Yeah. She get in the van, she get on the bus with us. Every one of them.
I would have some days.
As a matter of fact, my track coach and my high school football coach, Coach Hall, actually he going to the Hall of Fame. My brother, he coached obviously he coached my mom. My mom graduated in 60. I graduated 86, so 26 years. He coached 50 years.
Right.
Yep. He told the doctor, Coach Hall probably be about, how old Coach Hall? Mama 81, so Coach Hall should be about 87. He told the doctor, he said, Coach, how you doing? He said, I'm doing good. He said, I got one more boy to get into the Hall of Fame. And then, Doc, I'm good after that. I don't care nothing about after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that joker. He called my sister. He get in, Coach Hall? I don't know. Okay, when you find out, let me know. So he got in. She drove up there, and she told him, Coach Hall, boy, that showed good. So we just booked him and his wife reservation. I think the other day. I think Shelly took care of it the other day. That's what makes it special, Ocho. When you have a coach that's been a part of this. He coached my mom. He coached my uncles, my driver's ed, my sister, all my aunts, my sister, me, my brother, and then it was a part of it because he lived in Savannah. The home games, I see him on the side. I see him standing over the side. Had a white guy named Billy Strickland.
Mm-hmm.
Ocho, only white guy there. Only come from Glenville. Only white guy. At the hall, he was at the. That man was so proud, Ocho. He said, "This is the proudest day of my life." That had to be he's a pharmacist. So my grandma would send my sister up there to get medicine, not have no money. He said, "Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it." Yeah. Billy Strickland was at the game, standing on the side. I would see him because he and Coach Hall knew each other. They be standing there. That's what makes it fun. Coach Hall he drove to DC, drive to Tennessee, drive to Jacksonville. If I'm close, Atlanta,
he driving. He
coming.
Yeah.
If it's anything under 12 hours, Coach Hall gonna drive. Mm-hmm. He coming. We play in Carolina in a preseason game. Coach Hall there.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Hall there. Yeah, man. Because when they first started, they played at Clemson, and then they got their own stadium. Coach Hall coming, and man, it's so great. It's an unbelievable feeling that he gets to experience it. It ain't a whole lot. It ain't a whole lot of guys coach two guys that go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yeah. And he's in the Georgia Coaches Hall of Fame. Man, he was so proud. He told us, me and my brother went up there for that. Man, that's what it's all about. Ocho, Travis Hunter had a busy month. First, he was selected number 2 overall by the Jacksonville Jags in the NFL draft. Then he graduated Colorado May 15th. And on Saturday, he got married to his longtime girlfriend, Leanna Laney. He gave her a gift, a ceremony worth at least $600K. It's a Mercedes-Benz AMG 63 Brabus 800.
Yeah.
This thing nice.
Yeah.
They nice. But your boy ain't got that kind of bread. Yeah. But your boy ain't got that kind of bread. No. And if he had it, he ain't buying one of them. Ocho, once you get to a certain age like myself, Ocho. Yeah. About to be 57 in a month.
Yes, sir.
I done had everything I want. Nah, hey.
Yeah. You want to chill, huh?
I done did it. I done did it. I done had the Ferrari and the Rolls and the Bentley and the big body Benz and Range. I done had all that.
Did it all.
But hey, I'm happy for the young fella.
Oh yeah,
he looked happy.
Very happy, man. Listen, that's what it's about at the end of the day. And I'm glad him and his wife ignored all the haters on the outside. Ignore all the haters. Everybody's gonna have an opinion. Everybody's gonna have to say this, blah blah blah, whatever. As long as they happy. Trav, focus on what you got to focus on. Go out there and turn Jacksonville and Duval County upside the fuck down. Mm-hmm. Turn it upside down.
We should have. See, Ocho, that should have been us many years ago, Ocho. Never mind.
Wait, what should have been us?
Married.
Oh shit! But that I've been trying to get you married, man. Listen, I'm.
Whoa! Talk about what you been trying. What about you?
I'm getting married. I told you I'm 2026. I'm not playing. Hey, let me tell you something. When that ball dropped, December 31st?
Yeah.
Man, I ain't got time to play. I ain't got man.
Ocho, you had me. I had this white linen outfit. I was gonna wear this.
And listen, you're gonna still be able to wear it. I can tell you that. Hey, I ain't got time to play. Ain't nothing out there, man.
You're right. You ain't. You know what, Ocho? You when you're right, you ain't wrong.
And listen, boy, I ain't got time to play no games. But I'm jumping the broom. Two of them. Two of them if it need be. I told you, listen, pay attention now. Think about all the stories we done talked about.
Yeah.
Ball players, basketball players, and everyone that's having success. Do you notice what they all have in common? They all
married.
I want some of that. I'm telling you. Listen, God ain't, I'm gonna tell you what my grandma used to told me. God ain't finished with me yet. He waiting on me. I'm not gonna finish the work that needs to be done with you until I have a foundation to build it on. So I'm gonna go ahead and create that foundation. Now watch how everything just start just
until you pay me my $5,900. When I get on you, I'm gonna take as long as God took.
Hey, listen, I tell you what, I'm gonna talk to God about it. I'm gonna see what He say. Let me tell you, my grandma.
You need to talk to me about it.
Hold on. Let me pray, lady. Let me pray on it.
Why you gotta pray on my money?
No, it's not about praying on your money. It's just I want to talk to God about it.
You ain't talked to Him yet?
Yeah. Oh, we
man, talk. He's about you probably say, God, you know Uncle ain't got no patience. And I sure be trying his patience. I need to give him his money.
Nah. Listen, Jesus got the will. Don't worry about it. Long as Jesus got the will, we going in the right direction.
Well, I ain't in it. So I need you to pay me my $5,900. I ain't in his will. That between you and God. I need you to cut me I need you to give me $5,900 in cash.
I got you. Ain't no pressure.
Well, congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Hunter. Miss Hunter, enjoy your gift. 63 Brabbers, 800. Them things nice too, Ocho.
Yeah, nice. They real nice. They real nice.
All right, Ocho. Now it's time for our final segment of the evening. It's time for Q&A. Tash said, y'all talking about haircuts, but imagine what we pay go to the hair salon. Robbery. But Tash, here's the thing. We get our haircut every week.
Or sometimes
twice a week, yes.
Yeah.
So just imagine paying, every week. That's $1,200. That's $1,200 a month. Oh, dang. No. At the time, I was getting my haircut 2 times a week.
Right.
Because being on television, so you know what I'm saying, Ocho, I had, so I get my haircut Sunday, and then I get it cut again on Wednesday. So imagine $300. $300, that's $600 a week. $600 a week times 4, that's $2,400 times 12.
Damn.
Man,
you got money, boy.
No. I told y'all I didn't pay no $300 for no damn haircut. But y'all be getting a lot of stuff done. Y'all be, sometimes y'all get what they call them lace front. They be getting extensions. Y'all get way more. They take an inch off. They ain't add nothing on. I can see it. They putting the fro on.
Yeah, and listen, it's a lot of work goes into that. And now listen, you got to think now. Some of them wigs that they get.
Yeah.
They different prices of that stuff. Now they get expensive.
Yeah.
Wig can go from $200 to $1,500. Now, depending on, then you got to get your lashes done. Then you got.
Yeah. How long a wig lasts, Ocho?
It depends on the person. Now, some people take care of their wigs and some people don't.
Okay.
It should last you anywhere from about a good 3 weeks. A good 3 weeks.
And so they got to go back and get it touched up again, huh?
Yeah. Especially you do any kind of coloring to it. You got to be on point. You got to take care of your wig. Some people don't take care of their wigs though. Huh? They don't.
Okay. Quentin May said strip clubs were your sign for you, Ocho.
Huh?
He said strip clubs were the sign for you.
Nah. What do you mean strip club was the sign for me?
Well, you was in there. You was at Booby Trap.
Oh yeah. I took twin up there. I took twin up there. You know, matter of fact, man, my oldest daughters came with me too. Hey, they
had a good time, huh?
Man, listen, we had a good time. I ain't throw no money though. I ain't throw no money.
Oh, they threw the money?
I mean, they had their own money to throw. You think I'm going to the strip club and finna spend my goddamn money? You think I'm finna pay somebody else rent?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I ain't even paid you. You think I'm gonna pay them?
Yeah, that's what I was waiting on you to go there. That's what I was waiting on you to go.
Man, hey,
I'm gonna get this back and go right upside your head. I was waiting on you to say, yeah, I threw some money up.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, listen. I'm all about supporting, the naked hustle. But at that time, I'm not in a position where I can do that.
Okay. Nick Marr said, hey, now the tour postponed. Ocho has another out for your 5,900. Now what? That man gonna wait till 2026 to pay you.
Nah.
You right.
Nah,
you right.
I'm gonna get it to you.
You right. You Nick, you ain't wrong. You right. That's what he waiting for.
Nah.
He waiting all that time to pay me my money.
Not really. I can Apple Pay it to you right now. You got Apple Pay?
I ain't got no Apple Pay. No.
You got Cash App? You got Zelle? Huh? No? Baby!
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Nightcap. You watched the New York Knicks come from 20 down to defeat the Indiana Pacers 106 to 100. They outscored them by 16 in the fourth quarter, thanks to Cat, who was sensational in that fourth quarter. Jalen Brunson was Jalen Brunson. Thibodeau switched up his lineup. He inserted Mitchell Robinson. Josh Hart came off the bench, and they were able to come from 20 points down in the second to win this game. And now we have a series. Now, can they make it 2-2 going back to MSG? That's what they hope. That's what the goal is on Tuesday. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Nightcap. Y'all know who I am. I'm your favorite unk, Shannon Sharpe, my partner and co-host, Liberty City's own Bingo Ring of Fame honoree, Pro Bowler, All-Pro. He's been outside lately. That's Chad Ochocinco Johnson. And we want to thank our special guest to talk basketball, his former team, a 6-time NBA All-Star, a 3-time All-NBA selection from Eau Claire High School in Columbia, South Carolina, Jermaine O'Neal. We want to thank J.O. for joining us. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Please make sure you hit the like button. And go subscribe to the Nightcap podcast feed, guys, wherever you get your podcast from. Even. What's up?
That's my oldest.
Oh, okay. What up, bro?
What?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Go get on your phone and hit the subscribe button to Nightcap.
I've been subscribed.
Every subscriber counts. Thank you, guys. We're not where we are without you. I understand that. I think everybody at Nightcap, especially Ocho and I, we understand the success that we've enjoyed was because of you, because of your eyes, because of your ears, because of word of mouth, and you've helped us grow exponentially. And we cannot thank you enough. So thank you for your support and your continued support. Make sure you check out Shea by Le Portier. We do have it in stock. Now, if you can't find it in the city or state near you, you best believe by the end of the year, we're going to be in a city or state near you. But in the meantime, if you cannot find it, order it online. We'll ship it directly to your door. It is the best tasting VSOP cognac on the market. Don't take my word for it. Try it. You will not be disappointed. Please drink responsibly and stay safe. Make sure you go follow my media company page on all of its platforms, Shay Media, and my clothing company, 84, with 84 being spelled out. The link is pinned in the chat. Supplies are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone. So please grab yours while supplies last. We're back tomorrow night, and we have a very special guest, #1 overall draft pick, Grandmama Larry Johnson joins us to help us break down the OKC Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves Game 4. Thank you guys for joining us again. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you, guys.